Good afternoon. This is a teacher training video, yoga teacher training. And so I thought that I'd begin by thanking everybody who has subscribed to me for subscribing. You know that our goal is to get 100 subscribers, not 5 million. 100 would do very nicely, thank you. And then we can get a direct link and make it easier for everybody. Just a very short notice too that teacher training happens tomorrow, which is the first Sunday in the month between 2 and 4 p.m. Now, whilst it is a teacher training time, I'd like to invite people who are past and gone through, or graduates, people who are interested in hypermobility, because that will be a subject matter for tomorrow, hypermobility meditation, and how all that fits together. And people who are training are super invited, because it's really important for you to come to the teacher training. Now, I would like to ask, because I want this to be much more interactive than it is at the moment, because I kind of sit here and I talk to you and you say that you like it, but you don't ask me any questions. So I really would like it if you subscribe, and if you subscribe, you go up to the corner and there's a little red tag and it says subscribe, and you just have to push that and you're on, if you have a Google account. And also I'd like you to make comments if you can, and emails especially, because if I get a nice juicy email, then I will respond in the next day or so with an answer here on the videos. So if we do that, theoretically we're going to have a much more interactive teacher-trainer, teacher-student relationship, and that, I think, is what you are asking for. I am providing the videos. What I need is for you to tell me what you want in the videos. For those that are doing the teacher training course, and those who are thinking or around the module 22 video module, that module is all about structural yoga therapy. And down the bottom, I have made a reference to Mukunda Stiles' book, Structural Yoga Therapy, and said, read this. But I have presumed that you have been following my hypermobility investigations and research. So you can't read Structural Yoga Therapy without taking into consideration the hypermobility. Now, I'm not sure that Mukunda Stiles did, because that book must be at least 15 years old. So I'm not sure that he did. But just because he's written a glossy book doesn't mean that he's the god of structural yoga therapy. I think we have to move a little bit forward. He certainly did a fabulous and wonderful job, and you should have the book and put it in your library. But I think also that you must take account when you're doing that module, and I will not let you move on from that module if you just download his answers. Because you're not thinking, you're not considering the problems, and they're quite valid problems. And when you're doing a course by distance, it's hugely important that you have your own ideas about what you should be doing. How to incorporate our teachings and Mukunda's teachings into something that is comprehensive and relatable to today, not the past. Okay? So it's really important that you pay attention to that hypermobility issue and apply it. Now, hypermobility is not just flexibility. I've said this a million times. It's not just flexibility. It's a mutation of the collagen that occurs genetically. So it's really important that you pay attention to what is happening to your students in front of you. It's hugely important. So your students will be demonstrating a certain characteristic, and you should know what that is. What is that telling you? Is that telling you that they're hypermobile, or is that telling you they've had too much for lunch? You really need to know how hypermobility affects their performance. Okay? So that is hugely important. Hypermobility will affect how quickly they get tired. It will affect how they're able to absorb instructions. It will affect how they experience themselves in space. It will affect, of course, how they do asanas, but it affects the whole of their yoga life and their personal life. Some people might have 6 different therapists telling them all different things about their various ailments, where in fact hypermobility is right down there at the cause, and everything else is symptoms of hypermobility. And that super stretching that they can do, that's a flag. The super movement of the hands, the clicking of the bones, the being able to put their little finger down to here or their thumb down to there, or you know, any of those things. Hyperflex knees, hyperflex elbows. Those are all flags that say to you, this person is hypermobile. Once you know that, all kinds of things become available to you as teachers. If a person is hypermobile and pregnant, wow, that's a huge, that really presents some enormous difficulties and opportunities. So please, leave some email messages for me, and I will get back to you. The more email messages I have, the more videos that we can do. And I will see how I can interface with you much more. I'll do the question and answer sessions much more. I will hopefully regularly post. I try to do it every day, but sometimes my camera is not forthcoming. Any questions you have, please let me know. My website is www.yogabeautiful.com.au, and all my contact details are on there. If you want to, well, you obviously know how to get onto the Google. Please subscribe. And my email is yogafirst, FIRST, at netcon.net.au. No M for Margaret's there, all N for Ned Kelly. Okay? So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.